What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Manny Reads Comics, where I read my comics off my pull list and I recap and review them. Today I have Omnicitycomics. Carlos is back here to talk about Moon Knight. What's going on, Carlos?
How's it going, guys? I'm happy to be here because I'm the one that basically bullied Manny into getting Moon Knight. So I feel responsible for what's happening today.
Yeah, absolutely. He said he was going to hack my account and he was going to take the money anyway, so I might as well buy the book. And not only did I buy this cover that you see here, the Moon Knight A cover, but I went and bought the Scotty Young cover and the Torque cover. But speaking of the covers, what do you think about this A cover? What are your
honestly,
thoughts?
honestly, it reminds me a little bit of Finch. And when I first saw the cover, I thought, oh man, sweet, Finch is gonna be doing
Finch is back.
yeah, Finch is back. He's gonna be doing A covers. But then I looked at it a little bit closer and I was like, wait, that's not Finch, and it's McNiven.
Mm-hmm.
But I like it for this cover. I think that it's a great cover. Again, um, feels like Finch, a very well renowned Moon Knight artist.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. I like it.
I
Good
like
A
the
cover.
I like the lightning behind it. If you don't know anything about Moon Knight, like I don't, so I'm just like that's pretty epic, pretty action pose kind of thing. Like it's the white Batman, I guess, the anti Batman. But then moving on to the Scotty Young cover, then it's it's a little silly, but it's still badass. Honestly,
It's
you,
kind of young, man. I mean, perfect.
you got the full moon in the back. I like the Moon Knight is a crescent moon, and I didn't know that was going to come into play after reading this first issue. It does kind of come into play, but that was kind of cool. And then finally, the last one is the torque variant. Is it the 1:25 ratio?
It's a 1 in 50.
1:50. Oh man,
Yeah.
I really spent my money. No, and this is just beautiful. It's just beautiful
Yeah.
art. Does he have those, like, are those batarangs that he carries or whatever?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
But I have to say, the Torque variant has to be my favorite cover
Yes.
out of all the covers that they released, including the all of the store exclusives, because there was a lot of covers for this,
Mm-hmm.
man. There was like, I don't know, maybe like 15 covers or something. This has to be my favorite one. The colors and just everything. The art is
Yeah,
beautiful,
it's
man.
just clean. It's smooth. It's just I love it. And then I just noticed right now that he's got like blood on his hands, so that's pretty cool. That kind of tells you a little bit about him. Um, but not
For
go
sure.
jumping in. Um, First page, Moon Knight is just in a suit answering a call, and like I said, this is my first time reading Moon Knight, so I was just immediately I was like, "That's a nice suit. This is interesting. What he's at? He's over here taking calls. I'm Mr. Knight. How can I help you?" Um, and then it shows him attacking some vampires with their new recruits, and he has like no mercy whatsoever. And that was a nice pun. If I do say so myself, it was like nice night. Oh man, I stopped and I was like, come on, man, come on, you just crashed into a car, man.
Yo, that scene though, when he says nice night, I mean, I mentioned it to you. I love the artwork.
Mhm.
Alessandro Capuccio. I hope that
Capuchin.
I pronounced his name right. Honestly, man, his art throughout this whole issue was just great. But the
Yes.
fact that we get this like double spread, double page panel from the very like beginning, the action in it is just it's awesome, man. The glass and the facial expression that you see on the vampire,
Yeah.
that he's basically like, like,
Like what the
motherfucker.
heck? Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
it's great, man. It hyped me up, for the action.
it was back to back action, kind of like making you like really, like you said, hype you up for the return of Moon Knight, right? Um, and I really do like the fact that he does go on and on about like the night is his territory and like there's gonna be
Yep.
no mercy. Like I warned you, I put the signs up, I warned you, and you still did it. Not my fault. And it does kind of show you who he is as a hero, kind of like even the vampire, the recruits, they were like, hey, like we returned against our will. This is our first night. We don't want to do this, and he
Yep.
and he spared them. He didn't just kill them because you're vampires. He's not Blade. Like he was like okay, and like let them go. I'm assuming he's gonna like, keep tabs on them, obviously, but he lets them go, which does kind of. I thought that was just gonna be like, hey, this is who he is, but it does kind of come back into play later on.
Yeah.
Um, And then they do go into, which I really appreciated this. They go into his past in his therapy session. They mentioned that he was a U.S. Marine, CIA, private military contracting, and then while he was in Salima, something happened that he got like he grew a conscience or something, and he went against his team and they killed him, and
Yeah.
that's
So
crazy.
a little, just quick, like rough backstory.
Please.
Basically, what happened was that he ended up becoming a mercenary for hire,
Mm-hmm.
and on a mission in the Sudan, he basically ended up being betrayed, I guess, by the leader of his group. Bushman is his name, and Bushman is basically Moon Knight's like arch nemesis.
Okay.
He ends up killing um, um, the lead, I guess, archaeologist, because he wanted to pilfer the tomb that they were, there in trying to, research. And after he does that, he also tries to kill the lead archaeologist's daughter. And Moon Knight, as Mark Spector, he basically jumps, in to save her, and Bushman kills him. And he ends up making his way to the statue of Khonshu,
Mm-hmm.
and it's in that moment that he ends up being, brought back to life by Khonshu, and he gives him the opportunity to become his, like avatar,
Mm-hmm.
and doing so, he would grant him immortal life, and that's
Okay.
how he was brought back to life, and that's what they're mentioning right now, and him being a war criminal and being brought back to life, and what ended up happening, while he was out in the Sudan, and that's just a
Okay.
quick, rough, dirty backstory
That
on him.
that actually answered my question because it does. He does say that he died two more times at least in between
Yeah,
there and now. And so I did have a question of can he die? But I guess he's immortal. That's kind of cool. Does he have
yeah.
any other powers, or like is he just kind of like Batman?
He's kind of like Batman, but there are instances in which he does gain some kind of supernatural abilities, and they happen mostly during a full moon. And
Oh, okay.
when that happens, there's been times that he actually gains supernatural strength and other kind of abilities
Mm-hmm.
uh, that Khonshu grants him under a full moon, which is pretty cool.
That is pretty. Oh, so what if he dies in daytime?
He's
Okay.
never died, from what I can remember, during daytime, because the other two times it
It was
was during
nighttime. Yeah, because he's
nighttime.
fighting. I'm assuming. Yeah.
Yeah, that's never been answered, but I'm assuming that country would also bring him back to life.
It's like, nah,
Um,
man, you messed up. You got
yeah,
hit by a
dude.
car in the middle of the day. That's not my
Yeah,
fault. Okay. Yeah.
dude.
No, so then this lady does hire him to take care of some creatures in her apartment. And that was another badass scene where the creature just happens to be vermin. And Moon Knight calls him out. He's like, I know you're one of Spider Man's foes. I know you're lonely and you clone yourself. That's a nice trick. I'm not your friend. I'm not Spider Man, and I will kill you. Like he gives him a chance, but that was badass. That was a good scene.
Yeah, and you know what I appreciated about that, like a small little detail, is that the fact that he brought up the cloning, because Berman never used to be able to clone himself.
Mm-hmm.
The hunted Spider-Man arc, he like Arcade basically
That's right. That's right.
ran those experiments on Vermin, and we saw them scattered into the subway after the hunted storyline. So I
Completely
really
forgot about that. That's a good catch. That's a good. That's great.
So I really like that they brought that, into this, and like you mentioned, Moon Knight being, you know,
That's who he is.
it, being who he is. Like, if you don't heed my warning, I'm gonna kill you.
I'm not. I'm not the friendly neighborhood anything. Yeah. So,
Absolutely.
but then they go on to this like quick explanation. I don't know what's going on either with this, but just a quick explanation of Khonshu trying to take over the world in Avengers, and he's just like, I don't agree with him, but I'm still his fist, so I'm still doing the good work. But me and him aren't really talking right now. That was I thought that was interesting that they like kind of swept it under the rug. You know, they don't need to make a big point of it.
Yeah,
No,
there was there was a storyline recently in the most recent Avengers title
Right.
in issues 33 through 38, and it was called the Age of Khonshu,
Okay.
and it dealt with Khonshu and Mephisto. I'll be honest, I didn't read the actual arc because I just haven't been keeping up with the Avengers. Um, but because this new Moon Knight title was coming out, and because I do enjoy Moon Knight, I read a quick synopsis, and that's like the gist of what ended up happening. And that's probably why Moon Knight's saying I'm not in good terms with him because he tried to take over the world or something.
Yeah, yeah, but he's like, but he is still the god providing my immortality, so it is what it is, like kind of thing. But then he does get a call, and he's on his way to go stop this supervillain. He says, but it turns out to be Eight Ball, and we got this one
Joe,
doctor. Yeah, a joke pretty much because we got a civilian here just taking care of him, like knocking him out, and he's like, "Hey, nice of you to show up." This guy's name is Doctor, and when we
I,
find out the end of it, I'm like, man, this is a bad pun again. Like Doctor Batter. Later on, we find out that he's possibly the main bad guy, right? So like Doctor Batter, come on, come up with something better. Either way, Doctor Batter talks to him, and they start talking about Khonshu and how Doctor Batter is a I guess a follower of Khonshu as well, and he starts pretty much what's it called lecturing Moon Knight about what he's doing. Like he's like, you're letting people go, talking about those vampires. Um, you're barely taking care of the creatures, talking about vermin.
yep.
You're doing a bad job. Is basically what he's saying. And Moon Knight wasn't having it. And he's like, hey, I outrank you. I'm the fist of Contra. You don't talk to me like that. And immediately right back at him, Dr. Batter's like, nah, nobody outranks me but Contra. So
One person.
yeah, and it's an interesting thing. I figured it was going to lead to some kind of rivalry, but I didn't think he was going to be like a bad guy, even though his name is Doctor Batter. But I didn't think that was going to happen. But then it goes over to Moon Knight talking to his therapist about all these changes, and it's a quick cut of him just doing all these activities at night, um, fighting, talking to other people, just activities.
But hey, man, you have to admit, Moon Knight holding a chainsaw,
That was pretty
mowing
cool. Like
down.
he just
he, he,
it got me wondering like what is he doing? What is
he's
this?
mowing down what I presume to look and be zombies. I'm assuming.
Yeah, like it's just it's
Awesome.
what else is he doing? I'm assuming that you're looking at the comic right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's doing a lot of activities, and I just didn't write it down.
Yeah. So in that panel, he's got a chainsaw and he's like mowing down zombies, and then right below he's throwing some villain off of a roof. Um, and in between that, he's sweeping the street in front of his like office.
Oh
If you
yeah, yeah. It was something like very mundane, just like this is a Wednesday.
Yep. And then he's beating the shit out of more vermin with a crowbar. And the last, the only other panel is him arm wrestling Frankenstein, which is
That's pretty cool.
and it's pretty cool.
I
Uh, oh,
oh
and one more panel, you see him basically putting up his Moon Knight crescent symbol on like a building, which he's doing to signify, hey, this area is protected by me, and for
okay.
anyone that travels at night, warning to anyone that wants to hurt his people basically.
Okay, that's pretty cool. I didn't catch that. Like I saw him doing it, but I didn't like put two and two together.
Yeah,
I wonder if the crowbar and the chainsaw, if that's like like a reference to like the chainsaw is a Night of the Evil Dead or whatever. Like
yeah.
that, and then the crowbar. Would you say that that's a reference to Joker? Just
Uh,
cause.
honestly, I don't know, but I do feel like the chainsaw is some
Yeah,
kind of homage to Evil Undead.
Evil Undead. Yeah, something I forget what the movie's called
Yeah.
honestly.
And the crowbar, I think the crowbar is just because crowbars are awesome.
I always, anytime I see a crowbar, I automatically think
Mhm.
Joker. But yeah, I was reaching for that one, but I was like, I don't know, maybe
Yeah,
someone else thinks it. But either way, it ends up with Moon Knight talking to his uh, assistant Reese, and
yeah,
just just thanking him. or thanking her for like not trying to change him. Like that's why he likes her. And I did write a little note earlier about how she's the best because like he was like, hey, can you get me some coffee? And she's like, get it yourself. Like she's only there to help people and not him. Um,
Did you catch and correct me if I'm wrong or if you think that I'm wrong, but I feel like the story from the opening to where he's at right now takes place maybe like in a couple months or something because his assistant Reese,
mhm.
I feel like he takes the vampire that tells him that this wasn't their choice and that this was done to them
Oh,
against their will. Um, I feel like he took her as his assistant.
that's the very first vampire. That's the one that put her hands up and said like, "Hey,
Yep.
we're not doing this."
Yeah.
That I didn't catch that, but
The very
now I'm seeing it. Yeah, that's definitely her.
yeah, because towards the end when he's sitting down in the chair and he's like basically all like exhausted and he's having that conversation, you're able to get a really good look at her eyes, and her eyes are definitely vampire eyes.
Oh man, that's a great catch. I like that. Yeah, I
And
wonder what
she
he did with the rest though.
Yeah, and she has the same hair, and he asks her when he says, "You know why I like you, Reese?" And she says, "Because I'm the only person you know who's biologically compelled to keep the same schedule
I
you do."
was just gonna mention that she like basically says I'm the only one that keeps the same schedule as you.
Yep,
So that
biologically, because
yeah,
I'm a vampire now.
she's a vampire. I wonder if he's ever gonna run into Blade. I just keep thinking of other things. Like I
I
wonder if
hope.
he will, and like he'll Blade will try to kill his assistant, and he's like back up. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Um, a quick little thing when it comes to vampires. I don't know if you've noticed or if you've been keeping up with other Marvel books, but vampires have been making a resurgence across like a lot
Mm-hmm.
of titles. Man, they've been like being sprinkled
Mm-hmm.
a lot in Wolverine. I don't know if you or any of our viewers or listeners are reading Wolverine, but like
Huh.
the a huge arc and ongoing arc is Wolverine dealing with vampires and
Huh.
a vampire organization and Dracula and vampires. A big Avengers storyline has to do with Dracula coming back
Yep.
and Russia. Like they're being sprinkled.
That's what I was gonna say. Is like the last time I saw vampires was in the Avengers storyline, where Dracula took over Chernobyl or whatever,
Yeah.
and like that's where they live now, and
Yes.
then I forgot what happened, but Blade became like their sheriff or something like that. Like he's the
Yeah.
one taking care of them. So like that's the last thing I saw from Dracula and Blade. But I have seen some vampires here and there, especially now
Yeah.
in Moon Knight. So
And you're right, man. If we get to see Blade, especially with the new Blade movie,
yeah,
being worked on, and hopefully Blade being more of a focus, it'd be super cool to see Blade make an appearance here.
yeah.
Pretty
Well,
cool.
anyways, finally, the last bit is we see that someone is spying on Moon Knight as he's talking to his assistant.
Yep.
Um, he wants to break Moon Knight's faith. And at this point, I was like, we find out that it's Dr. Banner, and I was like, I knew I didn't really trust him. Like, there was something about him. And he's revealed most likely to be called the Hunter's Moon. And he's got the full moon on his forehead. And so, like, that's a contradiction to what Moon Knight has, which is just a crescent
Yep.
moon. So that's pretty cool. So, would you know off the top of your head what a crescent moon is called, other than crescent moon, like a waxing moon, waning?
I honestly don't know, but I remember learning these terms in school because there's like umbra and then like
Yeah,
penumbra and all of those. But as far as a crescent moon, I don't remember.
because like I know there's like harvester moon and stuff like that. And hunter's moon is I think it comes out in October. That's the full moon that comes out in October, and it's known
Oh,
as the hunter's moon. Um, so I was wondering if there's something for the crescent moon. I might do some more research on it, but
dude.
maybe
Now,
maybe something there, but I don't know. I may be looking too much into it.
now you got me thinking.
Yeah,
What?
actually, there is. I for some reason I looked it up. The supermoons, they each have a name. There's like the strawberry supermoon. There's something else, but each month has a supermoon, and each month
Oh,
has a different name for them. And I looked up mine, and I cannot off the top of my head. I just thought I'm just remembering this right now because I had a whole conversation where mine sucked, but one of my good friends, his moon was really cool in March, and so I was like, man, forget your moon, like nobody cares. So
I
I'm
gotta
gonna
look
have to
at
look it
it.
up. All right, so I just looked it up, and we got a couple of different names here, and so here we go. January, you got the Wolf Moon. That's your super moon. That's what it's called. January is pretty badass, honestly. Like it's starting off strong.
Uh,
February is Snow Moon, and you said yours is in March, and I'm so sorry, but it's a Worm Moon.
Come on, man.
April is the Pink Moon. May is the Flower Moon. June is the Strawberry Moon. July July has Buck Moon.
Fuck.
Yeah. August is the Sturgeon Moon, and I don't know what a sturgeon is because of the large number of fish in the lakes where the Algonquin tribes fished. So I guess sturgeon is a fish. I don't know. Then September and October are the harvest moons, but they also have their own names. Which, okay, so that's when like the harvest happens. Technically, the harvest moon is the full moon closest to September equinox, around September 22nd. So most years it is in September, and then but every 3 years it's in October. So that's why they're both harvest moon. But they do
Yeah.
have their own. September is corn moon. And that is my birthday. So September is the corn moon. I'm off by 1 month. And October is the hunter's moon,
All right.
and November is the beaver moon. And last but not least, December is cold moon.
That one sounds cool as well.
Cold moon. That sounds lazy. It's like, man, it's cold. The moon is beautiful and it's cold. Cold moon. No, that's a little bit of moon history for all you guys out there, but guys and girls. Um, yeah, corn. So today we got corn moon and we got the worm moon. I wonder what moon that would be. Do we know his birthday?
Honestly, off the top of my head, I don't, but I'm pretty sure that they, or I hope that they would make it January and it be Wolf Moon because his first appearance was in Werewolf by Night. So
Oh, you're right. That you know what? There it is. That's canon. I don't care what anything else says. That's it.
absolutely. So it'd be cool.
But yeah, no, we got the Hunter's Moon is revealed. That guy, like you were saying, he's got the complete opposite look of Moon Knight. He's got like a whole black suit. He's not playing around. He's ready to take Moon Knight down. And usually he says that he makes like a big appearance and big noise about what he does.
Yep.
But with Moon Knight, he took it personally, and he's gonna take him down silently. So that's
It sounds
interesting.
it sounds brutal, man, and I'm hoping for like a bomb ass showdown, like a brutal showdown.
Yeah. No, and so usually I have a rating for these books. This is number one. This is the first time I read Moon Knight, and I forgot to completely write down a rating. But if I had to give it one, it was very interesting. It was a lot of backstory, but I needed that. So I would say 7.58 is a solid beginning. It's entertaining, and I'm looking forward to reading more. I know that I joked with you earlier and I said, no, I don't want to read this anymore, but I was just kidding. This is a really good book so far, so I'm excited.
Very
Well,
cool.
what did you rate it?
Man, me having a little bit more knowledge on Moon Knight and having read other volumes, there was a lot of stuff that got me really excited, and that's why my rating is a little bit higher. And I give this debut issue a solid 8.5, possibly a 9. And what's bumping it, in that borderline, is just the amazing artwork, man. Like the artwork really, really blew me away.
I was
So,
I was gonna
no,
say that I wanted to bump mine up to like a little 8 just for the details that you provided about like the vampire, like how he hired her. That was really cool. I didn't notice that at all, and the whole him putting the sign and the hunters, I'm not hunters, the vermin
yeah,
callback. That was really cool. I didn't notice that, but now knowing that in my head,
come on, 8. Let's make it canon. 8.
it's 7.9. No, no,
Yeah,
no, no, it's an 8. It's an 8. All right, we'll make it canon. But yeah,
But yeah, strong debut. I'm loving Jed McKay's writing on this. He's been doing an amazing job on Black Cat. If no one that's watching, if anyone that's watching hasn't been reading his Black Cat run,
it's
wonderful
amazing.
take. Yeah, amazing, wonderful storytelling. Some just great moments. And it's been a damn near perfect. run.
Just a perfect moment for me to plug in that have a couple of recaps of Black Cat in my video section. So go check out my history, and
Yeah,
I think I have like the last 3 issues recap. So if you want to get caught up with Black Cat, there you
and
go.
very good recaps. I might add. I watched them very detailed and gives a great overall synopsis. So go check out Manny's reviews and check out Black Cat. Gemma K is
Absolutely,
doing again great job. Solid debut. Sets up a great rivalry. We're introduced to a new
immediately.
villain, and yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it. More of this amazing artwork and more of Moon Knight. So solid 8.5/9 for me.
Nice, nice. All right. Well, is there anything else about Moon Knight that you'd like to bring up?
No, man, just go and pick up Moon Knight, man. Try it out.
All right, guys, you heard him. Omnicitycomics on Instagram. Go check him out. He's always showing off all his comic books. He's got
Thank you.
a beautiful amount. I'm not jealous whatsoever at all. So no, but yeah, thank you for watching and thank you for listening. See you guys later.
Thank you guys. Take care.